final day of the season, a win for West Brom secured the Championship title, while Leicester were relegated after a draw at Stoke. Colchester and Scunthorpe will join Leicester in League One next season, Coventry escaping relegation by only 1 point. A draw for Stoke on the final day denied Hull the chance of automatic promotion, so they joined Bristol City, Crystal Palace and Watford in the playoffs. Crystal Palace went into their playoff semi-final with Bristol City as the Championship's form team. The Eagles with wins in their previous 5 games.
Oh yes! What a strike! And Crystal Palace have doubled their money.
It's been a remarkable turnaround by manager Neil Warnock, who took charge in October with the club stuck in the relegation zone. Palace's playoff push has been inspired by a trio of talented teenagers drafted in by Warnock. At only 17, Victor Moses has taken the Championship by storm. Only 17 as well, Sean Scannell has impressed since his arrival in the first team. 19-year-old Scott Sinclair completes the trio. The striker is on loan from Chelsea. It was Moses who sealed a win against Watford to cement Palace's position in the playoffs.
Here's Moses. Oh, he's tricked the defender. Moses. Oh, and it's in. It's number 2. He's driven it right through Richard Lee.
Palace went on to complete a 5-0 victory over Burnley on the final day, sending a statement of intent to Bristol City. They may have missed out on automatic promotion, but their appearance in a playoff semi-final caps a memorable season for Bristol City. Back in the second tier for the first time in 9 years, Gary Johnson's team began the campaign full of confidence.
It was a real good achievement to get promoted and be in the Championship, and it gave the fans something they had been pining for. And also as individuals, it was a great feat for us.
I think it's that confidence and that camaraderie that we've got in the dressing room. And, you know, there's not one lad here that's not ambitious and wants this football club to keep moving.
City have no inferiority complex. The Robins stating their promotion intent with a 2-0 victory over Sheffield United in October. And the wins just kept on coming.
Marvin Elliott from fully 25 yards. Oh, what a strike! Chance at a goal. Shawwalker. And it is in. Durham 5-0.
At the end of March, the Robins were top of the Championship. The dream of automatic promotion starting to look like a real possibility. Cue a case of vertigo as City slipped out of the top 2 with only 1 win in 10 games. Defeat at Sheffield United, ending their chances of automatic promotion.
We played football and we recognised ourselves today, and that was important to me going into these playoff games.
Having exceeded all expectations, right off City at your peril. Crystal Palace went into the game having only been beaten once in their previous 12. Bristol City finished the season in 4th and are seeking their 2nd successive promotion. Commentary from Peter Brackley.
Here's Carl. Itching to play in the Premiership. He's heard so much about it from his Aussie chums. The likes of Brett Emerson. Good header. Oh! Well kept out then by Speroni. David Noble. It's had a bit of a stop-start season really for City. Different route to goal this time. And it has paid off. And it's Carey. Palace were fooled by the free kick routine. Played in there by Carl, rather loosely in truth, but it was some finish. Really struck it so cleanly then. With his right foot low is Carey, to the delight of his manager and the travelling fans. Bristol City have taken the lead here. City have managed to counter these long balls fairly comfortably. Moore taking no chances. Basso was well out of his goal. Might have paid the price. Fonte going down in the box. Penalty. Well, for once their defending was loose. At first viewing it seemed rather innocuous. That's Carey, who went to ground himself. Well, I would have thought played the ball then. I think he just lost his balance inside the last 5 minutes. All eyes on Ben Watson. Can he hold his nerve again now in the heat of this semi-final? He can, and in some style too. Beautifully placed into the corner. In truth, they've been struggling to find a way through, Palace. But now it's a lifeline. Really good penalty kick. Nothing that the keeper Basso could do about that. Despite going the wrong way, and he wasn't that far away from it. Neil Warnock couldn't look. I'll tell you what, they're still giving it a go here, Bristol City. Noble, good effort. Oh yes! What a strike! David Noble is a hero yet again. They will have an advantage now for the second leg at Ashton Gate, unless Palace can come up with something extraordinary right at the finish. That is some strike. Carl with a brave header there. He had time, they didn't close him down, but it was such an accurate shot from David Noble. Matt Lawrence will fetch this one for Palace. One last chance perhaps. Clint Hill. No, that is the final whistle. A wonderful result for Gary Johnson and for Bristol City. They have come to Selhurst Park and beaten Crystal Palace, the favourites to go up from the playoffs. Final score, Crystal Palace 1, Bristol City 2.
Crystal Palace will come to Ashton Gate and trying to get that one back as soon as they can. So, you know, the tie's still very much there for both teams at the moment. We can only do what we've done, an away leg, and come away 2-1 winners. But now we've got to play a good home performance as well.
Massive advantage, haven't they? Got a goal in front and a big crowd in front of them. But, you know, we think, you know, there's always, you never know in football. It's one of those things you can tell their players, and the bench in particular were celebrating already the Wembley appearance. But it has a nasty habit sometimes when you get a bit carried away.
Doncaster Rovers travel to Southend for the first leg of their League One playoff semi-final. The Shrimpers aiming to return to the Championship at the first attempt. In a first half of few real scoring opportunities, Southend were unlucky not to go into the break in front. Simon Francis going close. His shot the best effort in a tight first half. Rovers finished the regular season only missing out on automatic promotion on the final day. They rallied in the second half. Jason Price denied by Daryl Flahaven in the Southend goal. A brave save. Steve Tilson's Southend went into the match having lost only once in their previous 15. James Walker, though, could find no way past former Scotland international Neil Sullivan. Rovers were on their way to a decent draw, but their evening was soured 3 minutes from time by a red card for striker Paul Heffernan. His headbutt giving the referee no option but to reach for the red card. He'll miss the second leg and the final should they get there. But 0-0 the way it finished. Despite that late red card, Sean O'Driscoll's Doncaster Rovers will be the happier of the two teams. Leeds take on Carlisle in the first leg of their playoff semi-final on Monday the 12th of May, before the return legs later in the week. Still to come, all the action from the League Two playoff semi-finals. And more Championship playoff action as Watford face Hull in the second semi-final. Darlington entertained Rochdale in the first leg of their League Two playoff semi-final. The Quakers finished the season in 5th place, just 2 points above their opponents. Darlington have only spent 5 seasons outside the bottom tier since they joined the Football League in 1921. They started brightly. Scott Wiseman going close. Dale's build-up was disrupted when striker Lee Thorpe broke an arm on the way to the match. Arm wrestling. Rochdale regrouped. Chris Dagnall's superb strike coming back off the crossbar. So close. It was the home team, though, who finally broke the deadlock. Jason Kennedy netting just before the half-hour mark, and in some style. The midfielder's 8th goal of the campaign, putting his side in the driving seat. Rochdale fought back and were level midway through the second half. Dagnall, who'd come so close in the first half, finding the net to get his team right back into this semi-final. A wicked deflection played its part, leaving keeper David Stockdale with no chance. But Darlington never gave up on a winner, and they got their reward in injury time. Defender Ian Miller rising highest to give his side a crucial lead. An opportune time for the defender to score only his 3rd goal of the season. So Darlington go into the second leg with a slender 1-goal advantage. The second of the League Two semi-finals took place on Sunday, when 4th place Stockport travelled to 7th in the table Wycombe. Paul Lambert's Wycombe had boasted the 2nd best home record in League Two. And they made the early running, Sergio Torres doing the hard work down the right, and Tommy Docherty denied. A fine save by keeper John Ruddy. But Stockport are no slouches away from home, having won 13 times on the road. They almost took the lead in the first half. Anthony Pilkington, only denied by the reactions of Frank Fielding. A fine header, an even better save. With 10 minutes to go in the first half, it was Wycombe who were gifted the opener. Ruddy's kick was unconvincing, and Delroy Facey was on hand to punish the mistake. The Gillingham loanee scoring only his 5th of the season. Advantage to Wanderers. But in the second half, County turned the screw and got their reward late on in spectacular fashion. Substitute Scott Gleeson's fine strike, wrong-footing Fielding. A goal worthy of the playoffs. It finished 1-1, all square at the halfway point, and all to play for at Edgeley Park next Saturday. Both the second legs of the League Two playoff semi-finals will be played on Saturday, the 17th of May. Aidy Boothroyd got Watford promoted through the playoffs in 2006. He'll now have to repeat that feat if the Hornets are to play in the Premier League next season. The Watford manager will be wondering how it came to this. His side were the early season pace setters, topping the championship until early December.
Oh, he was so nonchalant, never a doubt in his mind. He is going to strike it. Oh, and it's right into the top corner. Swung in left-footed. Marm with the shot, this blocked. Henderson! And that's it! Watford are going to win it 3-2.
Despite a dip in form before Christmas, Boothroyd went into the new year full of confidence.
I've got some good people here, and I know that even though everybody was shouting that Watford were going to fly away with it, I'm not daft enough to get carried away with any of that. Just like I won't get carried away when we get knocked off the top.
Just 3 wins in January and February saw his team struggling to maintain their promotion form.
I'm looking forward to the running, and I think you've got to look forward and not look back. We've been down that road, and now it's about making sure that we take total advantage of what comes in front of us.
It was a defeat to Hull in March that finally ended Watford's stay in the top two. The Tigers inflicting a 3-0 reverse on Boothroyd's men. Watford took on Blackpool on the final day of the season, a Tommy Smith goal securing their place in the playoffs. They'd edged out Wolves with a better goal difference of just 1. Hull City came within 1 game of promotion to the Premier League. Defeat on the final day may have ended their hopes of automatic promotion, but the Tigers' season is not done yet. Phil Brown's team can still cap an incredible campaign with promotion through the playoffs.
Here he is, Windass. Oh, it's fairy tale stuff for Dean Windass and for Hull. Can it get any better?
Here's Campbell. That is a magnificent goal by Fraser Campbell.
It's been a remarkable turnaround. Only 8 years ago, Hull were in turmoil, locked out of their Boothroyd Park Stadium by the bailiffs. Liquidation was a real possibility.
For a club of this size to, 10 years ago, to be probably going close to being extinct, for me, it's an unthinkable thought now because of how well we're doing.
It's a massive city and the fans have always been there, even in the days of Boothroyd Park. And yeah, I think it's about time Hull City was in the Premiership.
After major investments and a move to the KC Stadium, Hull are on the brink of joining the top flight.
To be able to realise that chance of getting Hull into the promised land, into the Premier League, would be a fabulous achievement for myself, for the backroom staff and for the players.
The last game of the season saw Hull lose at Ipswich, the Tigers narrowly missing out on automatic promotion. But Brown and his promising team are now focused on their playoff semi-final encounter.
We've got to pick ourselves up from this, and I think it's Watford we play, Watford home and away, and then hopefully get through that and get to Wembley. Doors still open for the Premier League.
The second semi-final kicked off on Sunday when Watford welcomed Hull to Vicarage Road. Eddie Boothroyd's Hornets scraped into the playoffs last weekend, while Phil Brown's Hull finished third. Commentary from Peter Brackley.
Away came Danny Shittu, and it's been ruled out. He came flying in at the far post there. In comes Shittu. Well, I couldn't see anything wrong with that. Maybe Bromby was impeding the goalkeeper. Somebody, former Birmingham player, recent acquisition by Watford. Referred it left back to Jordan Stewart, who we gather is being released by the club. Now here's Campbell, chance for Hull, and a goal for Hull from Nick Bromby. And the gamble in reintroducing him to the senior team has paid off. Shittu and Sadler got themselves into all kinds of trouble. Real coolness and composure shown first by Fraser Campbell and then by Barnby to steer it home. And they're off to a rousing start. Phil Brown's Hull City. Again, the marking was sloppy. Dawson whipping it back in. Off the crossbar. It's almost an own goal, but now it is a second goal. Windass. Yet again, Watford in disarray defensively. No wonder Bromby is shaking his head. It's agony for the Hornets fans. It's ecstasy for those who've come down to follow Hull City into these playoffs. Again, the tackling is pretty ferocious. The referee needs to step in quickly here. Eustace shoving Ashby. Two wholehearted midfield players clashing there. Oh, red card for Eustace. Now, is that for shoving Ashby? Or the earlier offence, whatever. As if they didn't have enough problems already, they are now down to 10 men. There's the challenge. It's by Garcia. Well, Eustace is in there somewhere. And then the shove on Ashby. Well, that's not really a sending off, is it? Hughes rolled on invitingly to Doyle. Still got 4 up here. Off the post! Oh, unlucky. It's a blinding shot on goal here. Teasing Sadler, beating the keeper, but not the upright. So it's, without question now, advantage. Hull City come the second leg. They have beaten Watford in the first leg of this semi-final in the Coca-Cola Championship playoffs by 2-0.
We go into every game wanting to win it. I think we proved that today. We showed that today. We'll have the exact same mentality at the KC Stadium, but as you say, we're halfway there. One more 90-minute performance could get us to Wembley.
Thankfully, it's only 2-0, and you know, there are many scores at 2-0 at half-time where teams come back, and that's what we've got to do now.
Coming up on the Football League show, all the drama from the Championship playoff semi-finals. Bristol City take on Crystal Palace, whilst Hull entertain Watford with a place at Wembley at stake. Plus, all the action from the League One and League Two playoff semi-finals. This is the Football League show. The action got underway on Monday night. It was the Battle of the Uniteds as Leeds entertained Carlisle in the first leg of the League One playoff semi-final. 36,000 turned up for the clash at Ellen Road. Carlisle, though, weren't intimidated by the home support. Mark Bridge Wilkinson's volley almost gave Carlisle the lead. And the Cumbrians' first half pressure soon paid off. Just past the half-hour mark, Leeds' failure to clear a corner cost them dear. Simon Hackney volleying the ball towards goal, his strike taking a deflection en route and giving stranded keeper Casper Ankergren no chance. Carlisle's Danny Graham claiming his 17th goal of the season. Carlisle seized the initiative at the beginning of the second half. Leeds 2-0 down just 5 minutes into the second period. Evan Harwood breaking down the left and squaring the ball to Bridge Wilkinson. His neat finish doubling the visitors' advantage. Leeds have battled back from a 15-point deduction at the beginning of the season to force their way into the playoffs, and the Yorkshire side could have equalised soon after. Paul Armisen almost putting through his own net. Kieran Westwood pulling off a fingertip save in the Carlisle goal. But Gary McAllister's team have been up against it all season, and they didn't stop battling to get something out of this game. They got their reward with 96 minutes on the clock. Paul Huntingdon playing the ball through to Dougie Friedman, the former Palace man firing the ball home in the 6th minute of injury time, everything to play for in the second leg. In the Championship now, and when Neil Warnock took charge of Palace in October, avoiding relegation was the priority. But they made it into the playoffs, where recent form made them favourites against Bristol City in the first leg of their semi-final.
Different route to goal this time, and it has paid off. Lewis Carey, Fonte going down in the box, penalty. Can he hold his nerve again now? He can. Noble, good effort, oh yes! What a strike! David Noble is a hero yet again.
As a professional manager, you know that only one up is still a big thing to keep. Crystal Palace will come to Ashton Gate and trying to get that one back as soon as they can.
Massive advantage, haven't they? Got a goal in front and a big crowd in front of them, but you know, we think there's always, you never know in football.
So Bristol City took a slender goal advantage into the second leg, but Neil Warnock has never lost a playoff semi-final, and he certainly didn't want to start at Ashton Gate. Peter Brackley was watching the action.
Morrison's header to Butterfield, then Scannell. A little bit of a misunderstanding there. Watson. Oh, it's in! Ben Watson, a scorer on Saturday, has struck again to bring the aggregate scores level, and it was a total aberration at the back there. McComb and Basso got themselves into all kinds of difficulties, and they have been fully punished by the alertness, the awareness of Ben Watson. Here's Carl. Oh, there's a loose challenge there, and I think it is a penalty. It was inside the box from Carl. Don't protest, says Howard Webb. He's made the decision. All eyes on Ben Watson. Looking calm enough. Basso busy on his line. Here comes Watson, off the post! And then the follow-up is wide. What an escape for Bristol City. What agony for Crystal Palace. Trundle, who's gone for it and has scored! It's Lee Trundle! And Bristol City are back in the driving seat, and maybe heading for Wembley. 1-1 on the night, but it's 3-2 to Bristol City. He got his hand to it, but no more than that. Speroni, absolute euphoria for Gary Johnson. Now, can they wrap it all up here? McIndoe, oh yes! It's an absolute beauty from Michael McIndoe, and surely now Bristol City are heading for the playoff final in the Championship. Don't come on the pitch, they're saying. You must be joking. And that's it, they are on their way to Wembley. Bristol City, it's a wonderful, wonderful night for them. They have beaten Crystal Palace to his absolute delight, Gary Johnson, to earn their place at a fight against Hull or Watford at Wembley in the Coca-Cola Championship playoff final. That promises to be quite a game too. It's Bristol City who are going on 4-2 on aggregate after their victory tonight by 2-1.
Leeds United travelled to Carlisle's Brunton Park for the second leg of their League One playoff semi-final. A late goal from Dougie Freedman in the first leg, giving Leeds a lifeline in the tie. Playing with home advantage, Carlisle started well, and they can count themselves unlucky not to have had a penalty in the first few minutes of the game. Scott Dobie tumbling in the box under the challenge of Lubomir Michalik, but the Cumbrians' appeals fell on deaf ears, referee Alan Wiley waving play on. Leeds are aiming to return to the Championship at the first attempt after relegation last season, and in the 10th minute they levelled the tie. First leg goal hero Dougie Freedman racing down the left. His cross fired home by Jonathan Howson. Leeds could have added another at the beginning of the second half. Evan Harwood's weak back pass falling to Freedman. His shot, though, well saved by Kieran Westwood, a man on loan from Crystal Palace, unable to repeat his scoring heroics from the first leg. Just as the tie looked as it was heading for extra time, Howson struck again, this time with the winner. The ball breaking to him at the edge of the area, and his slightly scuffed shot enough to find the net. The striker with his second goal of the game to fire his team into the League One playoff final. The Leeds United supporter writing his name in the history of the famous club. Gary McAllister's team, who started the season with a 15-point deficit, still in with a chance of promotion to the Championship. Leeds on their way to Wembley, 3-2 on aggregate. Doncaster took on Southend in the second leg of their League One playoff semi-final. A 0-0 draw at Roots Hall, meaning it was all square going into the contest at the Keepmoat Stadium. Rovers had the chance to break the deadlock when they were awarded a penalty early in the first half. Peter Clark penalised for holding on to Jason Price. And Brian Stock made no mistake with the penalty. His cool finish finally breaking the deadlock in this tie. Things only got worse for Southend, Rovers doubling their advantage 10 minutes later. Paul Green heading the ball into the danger area, Adam Barrett putting through his own net under pressure from Jason Price. Before the break, Doncaster were looking like running away with the game. James Coppinger adding a third 6 minutes before the interval, a goal that was all his own work. Coppinger picked up where he'd left off after the break. Another mazy run from the midfielder, rewarded with a goal. 4-0 the score, and Rovers definitely on their way to Wembley. But they weren't finished yet. The Yorkshire side sent out a message of intent to neighbours Leeds. Coppinger with his hat-trick to make it 5-0 with 10 minutes still to play. Which meant that there was time for Southend to grab a late consolation goal. Nick Bailey putting his side on the score sheet, but in the end, the Shrimpers were no match for Doncaster. 5-1 the way it stayed. Doncaster's win sets up a Yorkshire derby with Leeds at Wembley in the League One playoff final. Rovers, so long in the shadow of their more illustrious neighbours, will be looking to get one over on Gary McAllister's side. There have been some spectacular goals in the Championship this season. These didn't make it into our top 10. Here are the ones that did.
Southampton remain in control. Header on by Saganowski, and it's Stern John! Brilliant! BT. A brilliant strike, his 21st goal of the season, and his best of the lot.
Walters, Lee, back to goal, back heel, oh, it's in! What a terrific goal by Pablo Cunago. Delivered deep by Yuga, and headed down for Hayes, great juggling, great finish. That is a goal of the utmost quality from Paul Hayes. Still Stoke City leading by 2 goals to 0. Here's Ricardo Fuller. Might look to take on the defender, Cesar. Does so, gets past him with ease. Fuller! 3-0, Stoke City.
Now Bujaki began the season with Plymouth. Ledgewood Wood hits it! No question about that one. Sweet as you like from the left boot of Mikael Ledgewood.
Here's Phillips, tries to chip it into the top. Oh, that is absolutely brilliant. That is a goal of real quality. Johnson to Sproul. Strong run here. Cuts in on his left foot, chance of a shot. Oh, in off the post, it's 2-0. And it's the Northern Ireland international's first goal for Bristol City since his move from Hibs.
Noble, good effort. Oh, yes! What a strike! David Noble is a hero yet again. That is some strike.
Still to come, a dramatic finale to the League Two playoff semi-finals. Plus, who will join Bristol City at Wembley at the Championship playoff final? Hull and Watford battle it out. Darlington travelled to Rochdale for the second leg of their League Two playoff semi-final. The Quakers 2-1 up from the first leg last weekend. Midway through the first half, Darlington had the chance to increase their lead in the tie. Rennie Howe bringing down Jason Kennedy to hand the visitors a penalty. Clark Kelty stepped up to take the spot kick. The midfielder making no mistake to put his side into a commanding 3-1 aggregate lead. The Dale, though, got back into the tie with an equaliser before the break. Chris Dagnall getting on the end of Adam Rundle's cross. Dagnall, who was on target in the first leg of the playoff semi-final, netting to put his side right back in it. Darlington went on to dominate the second half, but it was Rochdale who netted a vital second to level the tie on aggregate. David Perkins with a fine strike from distance, although his shot did get the help of a deflection. That sent the game into extra time, but early in the second period, the home team were down to 10 men. Perkins, going from hero to villain after his reckless challenge on Ricky Ravenhill, earned him his marching orders. But neither team could find a winner, leaving the game to be decided on penalties. Both sides showed nerves of steel to score with their first 4 spot kicks. Darlington's Jason Kennedy stepping up to take the 5th for the Quakers. Tommy Lee equal to his effort. That left substitute Ben Muirhead needing to score to secure Rochdale's place in the League Two playoff final. He made no mistake. The Dale on their way to Wembley next weekend with a place in League One up for grabs. Stockport entertained Wycombe at Edgeley Park in their playoff semi-final second leg. A late goal from Wycombe at Adams Park, making it all square going into the game. Stockport started the game with 8 players under the age of 23, but they showed they had the maturity for the big occasion, taking the lead in just 7 minutes. Liam Dickinson racing clear from the halfway line to fire the Hatters in front. Carling Cup semi-finalists last year, Wycombe had showed they had the nerve for knockout football, and Paul Lambert's side battled to get back into the game. Delroy Facey spurning an excellent opportunity midway through the first half. Stockport had thrashed Wycombe 6-0 when the sides met at Edgeley Park earlier in the season, but this game was anything but one-sided. Sergio Torres setting up Scott McLeish just before the hour mark, the veteran striker unable to add to his tally of 25 league goals this season. Despite finishing 7th, Wycombe had lost just 1 of their last 8 games, and they continued to dominate in the second half. Stephen Oakes firing wide, an equaliser still eluding the Chairboys. Paul Lambert's team had snatched a late equaliser in the first leg, and they poured forward in the final minutes in search of a goal that would take the tie into extra time. Leon Knight with a great opportunity, but unable to get his shot on target. Despite the Wycombe onslaught, Stockport hung on to set up a Wembley playoff final with local rivals Rochdale. A win in the League Two playoff final will see them return to the 3rd tier of English football after an absence of 3 seasons. Back to the Championship, and Watford had entered their playoff semi-final first leg with only 1 win in 14 games. Their opponents, Hull, finished 3rd, only missing out on automatic promotion on the final day of the season.
Away came Danny Shittu, and it's been ruled out. Now here's Campbell, chance for Hull, and a goal for Hull from Nick Barmby. Dawson whipping it back in. Oh! off the crossbar. It's almost an own goal, but now it is a second goal. Windass. Again, the tackling is pretty ferocious. The referee needs to step in quickly here. Oh, red card. It will be a 2-goal lead that they have to defend at the KC Stadium.
We're not dead. We're not dead. It's only half-time, and you know, if we can get one, we can get 3.
In effect, as far as we're concerned, is still alive.
So, Hull City held a crucial 2-0 lead going into the second leg. A win or draw would send the Tigers to Wembley for the first time in the club's 104-year history. Watford, meanwhile, hope to spoil the party. Your commentator is Peter Brackley.
Eustace. Body's in the way, but the chance may yet come for Henderson, and it has! And Watford have the goal that gives them a lifeline in this playoff semi-final. Darius Henderson underlining here his enormous value. It's been an amazing transformation under Phil Brown in Hull's fortunes. Last season they only finished one place above the relegation zone. Keeper was tempted out, could be in trouble here. He is, it's a goal. And Nick Barmby has got it. And the 2-goal cushion is restored. An error of judgment surely then by Richard Lee, who found himself in no man's land. Hughes. Releasing Garcia, who's got Ricketts storming away to his right. Folan in the middle, so is Campbell. Here is Folan! And surely now, they have booked their place at Wembley. Hull City on the brink of history. They have never played in the National Stadium. Old or new. They have a 3-goal advantage here. And surely there is no way back now for Watford. Garcia go all the way here, will he? Yes. And that really puts a cap on it. 3-1 on the night, 5-1 on aggregate. And didn't he take this coolly? Defenders backing off, nobody really got at it. And I go back once again to the start of the first leg and that one that was ruled out from Danny Shutu, which really shouldn't have been. From there on, Hull haven't looked back. Looking for more goals now, and they've got one as well. Doyle. A wicked deflection off Bromby, I think. Nathan Doyle will claim it. To the utter despair of Richard Lee. It's his first senior goal. Nathan Doyle. And there is the final whistle. Hull City are going to Wembley for the first time in their 104-year history and have a chance now to make it into the top division for the first time as well. They have beaten Watford 4-1 on the night, 6-1 on aggregate.
So it'll be Bristol City and Hull who contest the Championship playoff final at Wembley on May the 24th. With an estimated £50 million at stake, the playoff final is dubbed the richest game in club football. The excitement and drama of finals gone by has been a fitting climax to the domestic football season in England. Make sure you tune in to see who'll reap the riches of the Premier League next term.
Special goal for a special occasion.
And surely now the goal that will take Crystal Palace into the Premier League.
He saved it! Charlton are going up!
Bolton are heading for the Premier League.
It's Birmingham City who get promoted! Is that the goal to take West Ham into the Premiership?
And Watford are into the promised land of English football. This might be the moment. Up the top of the crossbar. Goal! Derby County go in front in the playoff final. It's over, and Derby County are back in the Premiership.
Next week, the Championship playoff final. Can Bristol City cap a memorable campaign with promotion? Or will it be Hull who make it into the promised land of the Premier League? See you next week.